What is up, everybody? I'm Mitch.
And I'm Dustin, and you're tuned in to the Fatman podcast. Welcome.
So, as usual, we like to start out our podcast with a veteran highlight, and today's veteran highlight is Mr. Jonathan Paris.
That's right. Thank you. I started first class, actually, I believe, when he retired. He is now retired. Thank you, Jonathan Paris, for your service. Hats off to you.
Hell yeah. So, today we have a pretty special guest. He's, I've known him for years in the Indian Army National Guard. We've been friends, and he's been in my leadership, and now he's newly promoted Sergeant First Class. Chris Falardo, how you doing today?
What's up?
Great. How are you guys?
Oh, pretty good, man.
I'm hanging in there, fat and sassy.
So could you give us a little introduction about who you are, how long you've served, and what you're doing in life now?
All right. So I'm Falardo. I usually just leave the first name out, because that's how it's always been. I've always been Falardo. Sergeant First Class, been in for 13 years now. Feels like an eternity. Maybe not so much, but yeah, that's about it. Civilian side, I work at Ford, where every day sucks. Every day's a different breed of chaos. And sorry, phone interrupted everything. Outside of Ford, I have a blacksmith shop. I do a lot of artisan blacksmith work, knives, and all that fun stuff.
Hell yeah. So one big thing that we talk about fitness on this podcast a lot, because our backstory is we've lost 60 pounds in the past year and a half, and our big motivation is to help motivate other people that have struggled like us. But another thing is just motivating people in general, and so what we like to do is we like to share some good stories, and you had told us that you had told me in the past that whenever you were overseas, you got into boxing, and I was wondering if you could tell us how that whole thing started, and are you still boxing? How did that whole thing work for you?
Well, it actually started with my MOS in the Army. So I got picked up as a Seaburn. If you know anything about the military or the Army world, Seaburn doesn't belong anywhere. We're check the block and throw this guy in the closet somewhere and leave him until we leave. That being said, I got picked up, and they didn't quite need me anywhere. So I wound up being at the front desk at the aid station, and with the medics, of course. So, being from a line unit, very aggressive and straightforward and blunt, they found out that I wasn't really the desired personality to be at the front desk at the aid station. So they booted me really quick. And I found a class till they figured out where they could put me. I found a combatives class. So I told my LT, I said, "Ma'am, let me take this class." They got two of them. One's 1 week, the next one's 2 weeks. So I'll be gone 3 weeks, and that'll give you about a month time to figure out where the heck you're going to put me. And so I got to the end of the 2 weeks, and the guys teaching the class, one of them was leaving. They're like, "Hey, you were a wrestling coach, man. You picked up really quick. Check with your leadership, see if we can hang on to you, let you teach." And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to help LT figure out where I'm going. This is going to be it right here. So I did. All the ducks were in a row, and I got to teach combatives. And while I was teaching combatives, I got to do some tournaments, here or there, Kuwait, a couple of them. And it was a lot of fun. Spent a whole month or a whole deployment literally just fighting Monday through Friday. It was pretty awesome. Actually, my favorite moment was actually my worst moment. All piled into one. So I got into a exhibition match with a guy, and when they were building the bracket, they got me and another guy mixed up. So I'm really good not on my feet on the mat, and the other guy they mixed me up with was really good on his feet. But when they paired us up with two guys similar. However, the guy that they paired up with on his feet was a 5-time Olympic champion in judo. So they were like, hey, Falardo's got that guy. But I definitely wasn't supposed to go with the guy that was a 5-time Olympic world champion in judo. But that's what happened. I went toe-to-toe with him, and he threw me around like I was a bag of candy in a toddler's hand. But, yeah, that's also why it was my best moment, because, you know, it taught me a little more about, you know, pride and humbleness, because, you know, I was like, I'm going to beat this guy's butt. You know, I'm going to kick him around the mat. And suddenly that match starts and the whistle blows, and I'm like, whee! Just way up in the air.
Now, what has been what was the best lesson that you learned from your time doing combatives and doing all those competitions? What's a good takeaway you've had?
Everyone's a badass until they're not, and the smallest guy is usually the meanest.
I have a question.
Fighting a little squirrel.
Was it last year
Yeah.
at AT? Did you when the other company was doing combatives that out back? Did you go fight them?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, that was me.
So last year we were who was with us? I don't remember. Who was that company?
It was actually, it wasn't even me that dropped the city. It was the MP company, and Walker, Seaton, Paray, a couple other guys. We were out there just chit chatting, and the other company had come up talking smack to Seaton and Walker, and Seaton actually challenged them by using me like I was his pet fighter. He's like, I bet my guy could beat your guy. That's right. That's Eddie did too. He's like, Falardo, you got him. You could do it. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, only if I can wear my shirt. I call shirts.
So they'd been drinking with surprise.
Oh, obviously.
And so our barracks were here, and they were directly across the street, and so we went over there, and it was like the captain and their LTs and like all their upper leadership were the ones that wanted to do this, and so we're like, all right, and so we went over there, and Falardo, he went like 5 rounds with 5 different people, and he whooped some ass whenever we were there.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, he took them all on. It also did help that you were sober too.
Yeah, that was kind of an unfair advantage, but yeah, I don't drink.
The one guy wouldn't stop. Like he was like, all right. He'd lose, and they're like, all right, you need to stop. No, I got another round. He's like, all right, I guess we'll do it.
Some of those vibrators go.
I forgot about that until just now. Yeah.
Say it with your chest, boy.
Seaton wouldn't do it because he was like, I'm not rubbing around with shirtless with another man.
That would be something Seaton would say.
It ain't the Navy or the Air Force. Come on.
Yeah. So what has been so you said you've done 13, 14 years in the military?
Yeah.
What's been some of your favorite times, favorite experiences that you've had so far?
Man, it's really tough. My favorite time is probably with the 438th Chemical Company. Actually, annual training a couple years ago, I took Sergeant Moore, Staff Sergeant Moore, out possum kicking in the LMTV. And he'd never been possum kicking, so I was like, man, it's going to be a little tough because we got the water buffalo, and we had the mission to clean the water buffalo out and get it right and get it ready for the next training day. And sure enough, I hooked it up, and Hawaiian shirt and all. I wasn't even in uniform. I had flip-flops, a freaking Hawaiian shirt, gym shorts, and we jumped into LMTV, hooked a water buffalo up, put bleach in it, and we had to slosh it around. So we're driving back there on Range Road doing like, man, I want to say it was 55. And we finally saw a possum. I think Sergeant Moore about crapped his pants because I stomped on them brakes. And I'm telling you, we went from 60 to 0 in about 5 seconds, almost through into the windshield.
That's funny. Now, I'll tell you, so one thing about him, that it drove me nuts at the time, but I later learned that I appreciated it. So he's a troop leading procedures Nazi. Like it's just like nonstop. Oh, like every drill is like, fuck, come on. And but then I had a school here not that long ago, and I was like, oh yeah, thanks, Falardo. I appreciate that.
Helped out a lot. Didn't it?
Oh, it helped out a time. And I was like, this is why.
You're probably the only guy that knew it. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, hey, let's, because it's hard whenever we're not a line unit, and the chemical company being all chemical, all we do is chemical. And for the past 12 years, we haven't even done our army job. We've done the Surf P, which is a hybrid job for the military, and so it's yeah, and so it's been so different, and so
The Surf P to me is like shit that they give a toddler just to keep him busy because they don't want him.
See,
The adults.
here's the thing about the
Just stay out of sight, out of mind. Kind of like go over in the corner and play with his toys.
here's the thing about the Surf P. The job sucks, but there's
Yeah,
benefits to having that job. The benefits are, I liked staying in barracks. I liked having AC in the summer. I liked that,
unless you go to Muscatatuck.
Well, we don't even go there anymore. But hell, now the 438's not going to be around much longer.
Yeah, they're disbanding this.
Yeah,
You
they're
knew-
talking about disbanding them.
Well, it's official now. 20 September 2026. We're no longer going to be.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
That's going to be worth some money up there.
I guess I got out right in time.
yeah, but yeah, I'm actually disappointed because I was like, I wanted to retire from this unit, but apparently I can't.
Wow.
But,
I know you can't see it, but when I left the unit, I took the magnet that says 438 that's on my garage door. I was the NBC NCO for a while, so I was like, yoink, this is taking this home with me.
which I think is
You.
funny because we're all NBC NCOs, but
Yeah.
you were the
Yeah.
NBC NCO. But no, I later either way. Long story short is I did end up learning to appreciate all the training that you did with the troop leading procedures. It came in handy whenever I went to that school.
Yeah. And my kind of training has just got more and more chaotic through the years. Now soldiers are like crying when I tell them to start a class.
I know that all the lower enlisted, every time you taught a class, they were like, "This is troop leading procedures again." Without you, they're like, "Motherfucker." They would get so shitty.
Well, it comes in handy.
It
See,
does.
really shit in their heads, and then there you go.
Hey, you train for a reason, right?
That's right. Repetition is key.
Hey, they
So,
were thankful when they did they did all them classes, and at the end of them, we threw a mission on them. The what was it? Walker and I did. It was mounted land nav.
That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, they had a blast.
Oh yeah, because the thing is we haven't, like I said, we've done the Surf P for so long, we haven't done a lot of that what we call green mission, and so it was a nice breakup, and they ended up having a lot of fun with it. They were dreading it beforehand, but it turned out to be really really good, and I worked the talk, so it wasn't too bad for me.
You got the cake job.
Me and him ran the talk. Hey, my squad leader, he looked out for me.
Yeah, the worst time of my life. Talk. Gross.
So do you remember whenever we met?
Yeah, probably what 2016, 2017?
Something like that. I remember that I think we officially met when we went to Slovakia together, and I was so hungry. And wait, did you go to Slovakia with me? Maybe it was 18.
Yeah, that's back when we were cooking literally everything all the time in the barracks. Had the little camp stove. We come in.
We were so hungry in Slovakia, and I'm like, I'm starving. And he came the most prepared out of anything. I walk in there, I'm like, there's nothing to eat, no stores. We were in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden I look down, I smell something, and I look down, and he has a pot and a pan and a little camp stove, and I was like, "What are you making?" He was like, "Making chicken noodles." So I was like, "Oh," and so he would like cook I was like, "This is my guy. I'm gonna hang out with him." And he kept me fat throughout Slovakia. I was right.
Yeah,
Sounds like it.
somehow ramen noodles was a delicate man, just it was so good because you're not used to their food over there, and you start eating their food, and you're like, God, what is this?
No,
Well, see, I'm a fat kid at heart, so it doesn't matter what the hell they cook. I'm gonna eat it.
well,
And when
You
you
just
talk about
vacuum
ramen
it
noodles
up, just
becoming a delicacy, ramen noodles are a delicacy now to me. Like I don't give it.
right now they are because I haven't been eating any carbs. It's just all protein.
I guarantee if I ate ramen noodles right now, it's been so long. If I ate some ramen noodles now, I'd probably die because they got so many carbs and so much sodium. I'd probably just gonna just explode.
Oh man, it sounds so good.
oh
though.
my God.
That does sound pretty good though. Some shrimp and chicken ramen.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Oh,
fire. You gotta mix them.
Me and him, we would so like we would like scavenge from the defect, and we'd bring things back, and we would like cook. One day we made chicken Alfredo in the barracks.
Yeah.
People come over, they're like, what smells good over here? I'll take some. And so we're dishing it out to everybody. But
Hot eggs and airs.
all we thought about was food. We didn't like we would spend all day just thinking, man, I can't wait to get back to eat.
That sounds like me.
yeah.
Okay.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. He was a first sergeant at the time. Now Sergeant Major. First Sergeant Davis. He came in the barracks, walking through there. He's like, "What the hell are you all doing?" We're like,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Well, I want a plate." And we're like, "Okay."
You can't tell him no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
you're right.
Now people people have brought their whole entire grills to
I believe it.
drill now.
George Foreman.
Oh no, like a whole like
A whole ass grill.
whole
Like
ass
a
fuck-
charcoal grill.
Yeah, there was a guy named Hamilton. Was Hamilton in whenever you were in?
No, I don't think so.
You know Hammy. He brought
Hammy, yeah.
he brought his whole entire grill. And I walk around the side of the barracks, and there he is just grilling up burgers. He's like, "You want one?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Don't offer it
Yeah.
to me if you're
Man,
not
we
serious."
started a lot of trends. The food, then the grill, then the stove, then the projectors, and that became a thing. So
Yep. Well, you know me, whenever I'm back at like you've seen my setup, whenever I realized a long time ago, if I'm going to go anywhere, I'm going to be comfortable. And
we go in the barracks, and this dude's got a whole ass couch sitting out in the just he's got beds just spread apart like 15 feet further than they're supposed to be, and there's a whole couch like it's an air couch. Like, where did this come from? He's like, that's not even the best part. Look over there. And you turn around, and there's a desk, and there's a computer, and a projector's projecting on the wall, and a movie playing. Like, this guy.
That kind of shit was normal.
I had surround sound too.
No, the projector, that was normal.
Yeah.
The couch, though. It's ingenious. I like it.
Oh well,
Good.
the thing is so because of how they utilize me with the unit, I get extra room to pack, and so I only need so much room. So I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna bring this huge ass tote, I'm gonna pack whatever the fuck.
You start bringing those inflatable couches.
That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There you
it
go.
was a whole ass fucking inflatable couch.
Yeah,
I had cup holders. I had my own little like end table. I had everything.
You had the inflatable end tables?
No, it's not in.
Oh,
It's like a
it'd
comfortable.
been better if it was all just one.
I'm a boozy bitch. I can't
Oh,
help it.
man. Imagine a hard day of training, and you come in your kit, you're sweating. All you want is just to sit down for 5 minutes, and you walk past this guy on a couch.
How many people did
And
I walk?
Could you imagine walking in? Could you imagine walking in though, and you're sweaty as hell, and you go to sit down on his couch, and you're stark naked, and you just sit down and slide right off of it?
You wouldn't believe how many people I would walk in and they're sitting there just passed out on the couch.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I would agree.
it was utilized by the whole entire barracks pretty much. They come over late. We had a little movie night. That's what I mean.
We need to buy like a whole set, like a couch, like a little recliner, some end tables, and all inflatable.
He says that like I don't have that already.
I thought you bring it.
I do.
Okay.
So like that's what I was saying about the Surf P is when we have the ability to have those kind of amenities that like we wouldn't be able to do that if we were staying out in the field all the time.
Doing green missions.
Yeah, but I know that all the Army people that's watching this are like, "Are you kidding me?
Dude, all the living brothers are like, look at these pansies.
Look at these little bitches over here.
Talking about inflatable
Man,
couches.
it's
We
even
got
worse to get up
Martha's-
to brigade. I mean, you go to Camp Atterbury, maybe once a year?
Yeah, and whenever they go, they get those hotel rooms too.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't experienced that yet. I've been
BAQs.
at brigade
Oh, when we
for...
went to Volk,
Oh,
we went to Air Force Base one time for 18.
Oh,
My
wow.
God, it was like going to college, dude.
Yeah, they were like-
had big screen TVs on the walls in there, and there was like single bunks with private bathrooms.
and then they had a common area.
Yeah, they had a common area,
a refrigerator,
couches,
kitchen, everything. They were like, when we got there, we
I'm
went to
missing out.
They were like, sorry for the inconvenience. We know this isn't the nicest place, and I was like, dude, this is the nicest place
We're like,
I've ever been in.
And then on top of that, they had their little beach house too. Remember the bar that they had? Like,
Oh yeah,
they had beach volleyball.
Yeah.
And they had like it was literally like right across the street from our barracks too. And we got so drunk when we were there.
I remember when the day we got there, we had to go in there and do our little in-processing thing in that giant room, and the air conditioning, because it was summertime, it was hotter outside, and the AC was cranked up to like blizzard level, and we were all in there freezing our asses off. It was great because we didn't know what air conditioning was in the Army,
And it was like 90 degrees outside too.
they were all in there all comfy like it was nothing, like cold in here, dude.
That's why, like, every time that somebody tells us that they're thinking about joining the Army, all of my buddies at drill were like, join the Air Force.
Well, I remember also the first time that we ever got it, when we started doing that surf piece, we got attached to the Air Force unit there at the hangar. When we went to their DFAC for the first time, we realized they had all kinds of they had, and I'm not joking, this was a regular occurrence, they had like crab legs and steaks and cheeseburgers and all kinds of their DFAC, and I'm like, dude, what is this?
And they have you're talking there at Home and Field?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a every day they have pizza too. So like,
yeah, they had everyday pizza.
not like the little
It wasn't the really thin, just cheese pizza. It was thick, fat.
This was like what you would get from like a restaurant.
Chicago
Yeah,
style.
yeah, like this was good ass. We're like, we joined the wrong branch.
Dude, I'm telling you now, though, it's a good thing I didn't join the Army, because if I'd have joined the Air Force, I'd have been a fat son of a bitch. Fucking defect food, man. I do that like 300 pounds.
I do love our Air Force people though. Like,
I do.
They're great. Honestly, though, I've really enjoyed working.
It was nice working with them.
Talking about that, you've been around the block a few times, as far as the Army goes, and experienced other units. How different was it working with, because our medics are Air Force, how different was it for you coming from just Army to coming over to our side, and then your experience working with Air Force?
Oh man, I tell you, the Army medics and the Air Force medics are 100% different ends of the spectrum. Air Force is like a clique, they're a tight-knit group, as are the Army, but the difference is the Army medics are the nastiest group of people I've been attached to. I had one guy, Sergeant Weehee, and I don't know if he'll be watching this or not, but I hope he is, because he can see my sincere reaction of what he did. We're working in the aid station in Kuwait, just casual work day, and then someone comes in, they got something wrong with their leg, and Doc gets to looking at the guy's leg, and there's stuff coming out of it, like he goes back there, he's eating a sandwich, just chomping away, right? And he pokes this guy's leg, stuff comes out, takes another bite. Yeah, that's gross. And I'm in the doorway, I'm like, that's what's gross here? This dude is, but yeah, they're.
You seen it enough times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know that I could sit there and eat a sandwich with mayonnaise and all the luxuries on it while some shit's coming out of a dude's leg.
I'm the type of guy that it doesn't matter to me. I could eat spaghetti while the dude's guts are hanging out. Like it.
Not me.
It doesn't bother me a bit. I'll eat a mayonnaise sandwich while dude's got stuff leaking out his leg. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. As long as it doesn't get on my food, as long as he doesn't squirt it on my food, I'm still gonna eat it.
I'm a queasy bitch.
Oh my god, you're
nothing really turns my stomach.
Yeah, that is not for me. I'm not meant for the medical community. My mom, she does DCS now, but she used to like she was a lab tech and she did all that stuff for years, for like 25 years, and she really wanted to push us all into the medical field, and she stopped with me. She was like, "You're not going to make it. This is
You
not
get wheezy the side of blood.
Yep, it's not my thing."
Yeah.
So, a funny story about that. Whenever I was in basic training, which was a little bit before you, they still required you to do an IV
Salient locks
in order to graduate, and you were teamed up with a battle buddy. Well, I didn't realize I had an aversion to blood until this moment, and so whenever they gave me my IV, I was fine, and then it was my turn to give my battle buddy an IV. And the second that it touched his skin, I passed out. And then they're like, then I kicked you, and they're like, "What the fuck, Lunsford?" And they were like, "You're gonna get this, get it now." And so then I go again, and I get it just barely in the skin, and then I passed out. And they're like, "What? This guy's not gonna make it." Well, so 5 times later,
yeah, by making keep going until you get it.
They went from yelling at me to they're like, "Hey, buddy, you got this. You can." Like they changed their tone. They're like, "You can just."
I feel like at 5 times they're gambling on whether you pass out again.
Well, the thing is I felt even worse for my battle buddy because it was the same guy the whole entire time. I can't think of his name to this day, but he's like shaking.
I bet he remembers your name.
And so finally, like I poke it in, and they see it. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I'm like, I got this, and I finally did it, and I passed. But that's whenever I realized the medical field is not going to be for me.
See, the difference between you and I is my story with that is when I administered the IV, I did it flawlessly. You know, props to me. It's a brag, it's a flex, but it's stupid, but it is. Now, however, when my battle buddy had to put the IV in my arm, he forgot to take off the restriction band after he had put it in, and he let go of it, and blood started squirting out because it was still restricted, you know. And as soon as he let go of that restriction band, the blood started flowing. He didn't cap it, and blood was squirting out of that saline block at the end of it. And I'm just laying there like this, looking at him, and he's standing there like he doesn't know what to do. And I'm like, "It ain't supposed to do that." And I'm pointing at it, and it's just squirting out. And I'm like, "You gonna do something about this?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." So I grabbed my arm and I squeeze it real hard, make it shoot as far as I could. I was seeing how far I could get it go. And he was over there freaking out. He was like, "Oh my god!" So I just yanked it out, put my finger over it.
Yeah, I did. Did
oh
you
my
have to do
god!
Did you, whenever you went through, did you have to, was that still a graduation requirement, or did they get rid of that?
No, I think I was like the second class that stopped. Like it was a couple classes before me.
You missed a great experience.
You went through whenever it was easy.
No, I didn't miss the great experience because remember I was attached to the medics in Kuwait, and I had to do that there. I also had to learn how to do sutures and stitches on pigskin. That was a unique one.
Whenever you went through basic training, was that whenever they gave you naps and stuff?
Stress cards?
They did do the stress cards there, and I had...
Are you kidding me? I thought that was I thought that was fiction.
No, that's 100% real shit.
It was a real thing. It was a real thing.
I heard about that. That's real shit.
I think I was one of the first ones, and this kid tried to play it, and I watched him get Spartan kicked in the chest. It was probably the funniest moment of my career right there.
I watched a video one time of some kid in basic that had one of those stress cards, and he was like freaking out, and he pulled a stress card out. The drill sergeant walked up and yanked it out of his hand and ripped it into pieces and threw it in his face, and was just screaming in his face. The dude started crying. I was like, that's how it should be right there. I don't care.
They didn't pander with us in the slightest. Like they messed with us hardcore.
No, I had a drill sergeant who was a bad fucker. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if there's going to be any repercussions in the future for him for what he did, but there was a guy who was mouthy in our unit, or well, in our company, rather. He smarted off one too many times with the drill sergeant, and I was the platoon guide, so he called me and my assistant platoon guide up to the barracks with this little mouthy private, and he said, "I want you guys to go up there and toe the line." I'm like, "Roger, drill sergeant." So we go up there, and I'm telling the line up in the barracks, and he comes walking up there. The lights are still off in the barracks, and he walks up there, and he looks at me, and he goes, "You," and talk to my assistant platoon guide. He goes, "You two about face." Like, Roger. So I turn around, and he leans over my shoulder, like gets right up against my ear, and he goes, "You didn't see or hear shit." I'm like, "Roger that." And next thing I know, he just spark kicks his mounted little private in the chest, and he hits the floor, and I hear him get on top of him, just blast him a couple times. And the dude starts bawling his eyes out, crying, and he gets over the top of him, and he's screaming at him. He's like, "Oh yeah, you a big..." I can't say those words on here, but he was like, "You a big bad now, aren't you?" He's just screaming at him, cussing him out, and everything. And the dude was bawling his eyes out. So he gets him up, and he tells us to get back downstairs and tell the line again. So the three of us go back down there. And my heart's beating out of my chest. I'm like, this dude about got his ass beat by the drill sergeant. You know, he's sitting there bawling his face out. And I was like, man, that's nuts. But I never told anybody that story about, well, I told many people the story, but I never said his name. You're safe. If you ever, you know who you are. You're safe.
I remember whenever I was in, when I was in AIT, I had this sergeant, this platoon sergeant. His name was Sergeant Azarko, and he was from somewhere in Africa. And he had the deepest voice, but he would fuck with us all the time. Like he would do like even down to calling cadence was it just fucked with you because he knew the right cadences, but what he would do, he'd be like, "Went to the market where all the hotties shop, pulled out my bazooka and blew them all to hell." I'm like, that is not how that goes. And then when we would run, he'd be like, "Shoot, move, and communicate," and you go boom, boom. That should be a short cadence. He made that last 45 minutes once on a run, and that's all we did. And then also, I remember the first thing that he said, he was like, he walked up to me. I never said a word to this guy. He just walked up to me. He was like, if you go to the defect and someone takes your food, you lock that defect down. No one gets in, no one gets out. And then he walked away. Like that's all he said.
I see nothing wrong with his logic.
But he would always say things like that. And I remember the one that got me the most was for two of them that got me. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. He gets everybody out of the barracks. He's like, "Everybody outside on the line." And like, so we wake up and we're all like half asleep. We're towed the line. And he's like, "Soldiers, one day you will die. You will." That was all. It was nothing but.
Sounds like an epic dude. I like him already.
The funniest thing. So
one of these days you're all gonna die. Good night.
Like that's all.
What
That was
level of board do you have to be
well.
suffering that just bring 40 Joes out for no reason?
Well, so
it was a reason. It was a very uplifting moment.
we were at Fort Lost in the Woods in Missouri, and we
don't miss that place.
Back then, did you stay at Specker Barracks?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever I went through, they still had the little mini fridges in there. Apparently, they had a little mini fridge in there. But the rule was you couldn't have anything that was open. So backstory is Sergeant Ajarko. He is also, like I said, he's African, but he had the blackest skin color I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Well, that's an important detail to know on this story. Well, so he goes around and he's doing what's it, health and welfare checks,
Yeah.
And then they fuck up the barracks and all that stuff. And he has everybody out into the little common area, and he was like, "Whose is this?" And it's a carton of white milk. And he was like, "Whose is this?" And nobody said anything, and he turned around, but he didn't realize how close to the wall he was. He turned around and threw it, and he turns around, he has just white milk just dripping down. And the thing is, because of his complexion, it's just glowing. Not a sound was made. And nobody had the balls to laugh, and you could see on his face he had that. And he didn't say anything, and he just walked out. And we waited until we seen him halfway, like somebody was watching the window, waited until he was like halfway down the area, and we just lost it. It was one of the funniest things that I ever seen.
So my funny moment from Fort Leonard Wood, I can't remember the Joe's name for the life of me. He was a good friend of mine, and for whatever reason, his last name is escaping me. So, you know, when you're in AIT, you got to have your battle buddy with you at all times, right? So it's morning, or it's after breakfast chow, and we're getting ready to go talk to the platoon sergeant and find out what our jobs are for the day, where we're going and doing. So him and I are headed down there, and we're about halfway to the platoon sergeant's office, and he's like, "Dude, I got." And I'm like, "We don't have time, dude. We're gonna be late because if you're late to meet the platoon sergeant, you get your ass hemmed up." I'm like, "We're gonna be late, man. We gotta go." And he was like, "I gotta go." He was like, "I'm telling you, I'm gonna my pants if we don't turn around." And all of a sudden, he just shits himself. And I'm like, "Dude." He was like, "I gotta go back to the barracks, man. I can't go in there like that." I'm like, "All right." So we turn around, we haul ass back to the barracks, and he gets all cleaned up and everything, right? So we are heading back to by this time, we're like 15, 20 minutes late to meet platoon sergeant. We walk into his office, and he's got this look on his face, and he's like, "Why are you too late?" And I'm just standing there. I'm not going to say a word. And this other private looks at him. He said, "Platoon sergeant, my pants this morning, had to turn around and go back and change." I'm standing there trying not to laugh. And the platoon sergeant's like, and that's when I spoke up. I was like, "No, for real, platoon sergeant." I said, I promise you, he hit himself. He was like, he had to go back and change his clothes. We didn't want to come in here with shitty drawers. And he said, "I don't believe you." And then the private speaks up. He goes, "I can go get the shitty drawers for you if you want, platoon sergeant." And he tried to call his bluff. He was like, "Go get them." So we're like, "Roger." So we turn around, go back to the barracks, and we picked up the shitty drawers, and he had them in a little PX bag. And we take them back up there. And this dumb shit, we walk in there, and as soon as we walk up to the platoon sergeant's desk, he goes, "What do you want?" And this private took the bag and was like, and just dropped it right on his desk. It was tied up. It was tied up. He drops it right on his desk. He goes, "That." And he goes, "That's my shitty drawers, platoon sergeant." Dude about flips his desk. He was so pissed. He goes, "You tell me there's shitty drawers in that bag?" It's like, "Roger." He goes, "Get that shit off my desk." And he was so mad. And I'm like, they're just trying to keep my composure. Because I'm like, dude, if I laugh, I'm going to get my ass beat. Like, so he goes, "Get that shit off my desk." So the dipshit picks it up and throws it in his trash can next to his desk. And he's like, "No, get that. Take that back. Get rid of it." So he pulls it out of the bag and he goes to take off running. And he goes, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I got to go get rid of this to do hard." He's like, "Roger." He's like, "Get the fuck out of here." So we go back and he throws it in the dumpster. Dude, I'm like, "You are got to be the dumbest I've met in my life." Like, I don't throw on his desk. But it was a moment to behold for sure.
I'm gonna have to bleep
Sounded like
so much.
So many cuss words, I know, but God, it was something else. Yeah.
So what was you went I so you're chemical, so you went to Fort Leonard Wood. What was one of your favorite memories from old Fort Lost in the Woods?
There was a girl. We was going down to Rappel Tower, and I was behind this girl that had a nervous breakdown. She got hooked up, ready to go, and she just sat on the edge and she just lost it. She started bawling, and I was like, "You gotta go, you gotta go." And then about the time I started saying that, here come the female drill sergeant. She turned around, "What's the problem?" And I'm like, "Oh hell, here we go." She come walking up, and this girl's losing it. She talks this girl to the moment where she's getting ready to go over, but she doesn't quite have enough courage to go on her own. So drill sergeant just turns around. She looks at me and she goes, "You're next." She turned around, looked at the girl, and she just Spartan kicked her off. She just went, "Oof." The girl fell. Of course, you can hear, "Ah!" flat all the way down. I'm like, "Oh, She looks at me. She's like, "You gonna have a problem going?" I'm like, "Nope, not at all." I got in trouble for laughing at her, though. I felt bad, but it was like, it was really funny.
You're talking about Alexander, or what was that her name that fell from the snapped her foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there. That was before me, but I heard.
I was talking about basic, but I do remember that though. Was it? It was a confidence course.
I wasn't there. This was before me. Walker has told me this story 800 times.
Yeah. Yeah, she was scared to death. She was scared to death, and I'm like, "Look, the longer you take, the harder it's going to be. Just get your ass down and do it down."
So
quick.
I have one that I think is applicable to you because you have no problem. I've seen it. You have no problem technically acquiring things that you need. in the field. I've seen it. But so there's somebody, I won't mention their name, but there's somebody in our unit that was telling me that they had tactically acquired a pickup truck, drove it around for 3 days, and returned. Were you there for it?
It was on the podcast.
Oh, did we talk about it already?
Yes.
Oh, we did talk about it. Yeah,
yes, I think I might have been there for that. It sounds very familiar.
They tactically acquired a vehicle, drove around for 3 days, and then returned it after they locked the keys in it. But what's been the most extreme thing that you've seen tactically acquired in the military?
Actually, a 50 cal.
What? How in the hell do you tactically acquire a 50 cal?
I'm not allowed to dive into details, and then anyone that's watching this podcast, if you know, you know. But I saw a 50 cal go missing for a span of 5 days during annual training. It went to a completely different brigade, and it was joy fired like you wouldn't believe.
Did they lock down the
helicopter, a Humvee, you name it?
Did they lock down the entire base when they found out it was missing?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because they did that. I remember when we went to AT at in Indy one time.
Was it somebody that I know?
It might have. I never figured out who it was, but I'm sure you know.
I know who it is. The story. We'll just say without saying his name. It starts with a B.
There's several of those.
We'll discuss later. Yeah, we'll discuss later.
Anyway, he lost his rifle, and on top of losing the rifle, he also lost a walkie-talkie.
No,
comms unit.
That he didn't lose it. It was
lost it.
It was in the back of his car.
So because of this, the entire base went on lockdown for how long was it?
Like 8 hours.
It was like 8 or 9 hours, yeah. And nobody was. And we were all told to go in the barracks. We couldn't leave the barracks. Nobody was allowed in or out of the. Of course, the base.
It was a great now.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best tasks I ever had. I smoked a lot of cigarettes. I still smoked back then, but the whole place was just on lockdown over this. And they ended up finding the rifle, and they were like, "We don't care. We're still on lockdown. We got to find this comms unit." And they were pissed about it because those things are fucking expensive.
Well, so what happened with that? So he had to leave. And he just threw his rifle in the trunk of his car. He left the base. He was gone all day, and then he didn't come back until later on that evening. And they couldn't get a hold of him the whole entire time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that's
what was the last letter of his Lee? Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
I was there for that.
Yeah, I think that was before you.
No, I was there for that.
You were there for that? So without saying his name, you know who it was. But
I wasn't part of the unit yet, but I was there.
I was going to say, when did you get attached to 438?
Like 2017.
I was 2017.
I was going to say, I was out long gone by then. I got out in 13.
He was actually kind of a dick whenever I first met him.
Me?
No, him.
Oh, I was going to say, no, I wasn't.
His favorite thing was to mess with. So you were newly promoted. You were newly promoted to E5 at that time, right?
Yeah, but I was going through some things. I hated everybody.
Well, what he loved to do was he loved to really fuck with the lower enlisted, and I remember he sent his name was Cologne. He was like, I need you to find a pricky 8 for him. Go ask Sergeant Major
was he a Latino, Cologne?
No, I don't know. No.
It was Cuellar. It was Cuellar. I told him to go find Sergeant Major Benham and ask him for a pricky 9 for him.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
ID 10 Dago.
Yep. And all of a sudden, we're staring out that window up at Building 9, where you can see down onto the drill floor, and you just see him getting the smoked out of him. It was like, you're a dickhead.
I remember sending people on a run to find the ID 10 Tango forms.
Yeah. You need an exhaust sample too?
Yeah.
Yeah. You found a soft spot.
I got in big trouble over that. Sergeant Major actually had me out there low crawling in the grass for having him do that.
Well, he was so you There's rank doesn't bother me. I've never got like real nervous around rank or anything like that. I never got nervous around him because of what he was. I got nervous around him because who he was. Because he would be your best friend 1 second, and then he would flip his in a second. Like he's out now. I'm pretty sure. So I'll say this. He was kind of a psychopath. But
Yeah.
Sergeant Major Benham, he is out, right? I'm not going to suffer ramifications from saying this.
You're not going to suffer the wrath next drill.
Who knows?
I watched your podcast.
You know, he's been out a couple times apparently. He's, you know, like 90.
Well, the thing is he was so like unhinged, but he liked me for some reason. And like anytime he seen me, he would like. I remember we did. You know, remember the battle handoffs whenever you would get a new guy from basic training, you'd go after they did their little like ceremony at their what's it called, RSD unit.
Oh yeah.
So I went there to pick up.
I never went to my ceremony for my RSD unit.
I went to pick up one of my new guys, and it's a whole entire gymnasium. I see Sergeant Major way over there in the distance. We made eye contact, and like I'm not kidding, he like parted people just to like made a beeline straight towards me, like he's like weaving in and out of people, came straight towards me. He was like, how you doing, Lunsford? I'm like, I'm good, Sergeant Major. But and he'd walk up and he like put his arm over me. He'd be like, so tell about what's going on with you all. I appreciated that he took an interest in me, but I didn't appreciate that he took an interest in me at the same time, because it was like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to say something and this guy's going to hit me. Yeah.
I never got that. I always got, Falardo. Ugh.
Yeah. I was like, I think, like, the thing is he was so unhinged sometimes that I'm pretty sure he was stuck with me. Your phone flipped.
I don't know what happened. There goes.
There we go. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was with me the whole time. I think that's why it was. But
maybe he was setting you up for something and it just never came.
I don't know. But he liked me for some. I'll
take
get
this guy one day.
Yeah, long drawn out. Give me about 6 years, and I'm like, get his ass.
But I mean, I'll just take it as a win. He liked me, so I'll take that.
There you go.
I don't know why, but he did. So so you have we've talked about a lot of things, but I would like to dive deep into your you do blacksmithing and you do specialty knives and swords and all that stuff. And can you tell me how that started and what it's grown into?
Well, that actually it started with Forged in Fire. We was watching it one day with Dad and my oldest, and he's like, "Man, I really want to do that." So do I. So I bought the very basic stuff, and we tried it out in the driveway, and he burnt his hand. He's like, "I'm not gonna do this ever again," and I'm like, but I kept doing it because it was cool. I enjoyed it, and then over time, I actually turned it into what it is now. So.
And so what's the name of your business?
I especially love what is it?
What is the name of your business again?
It is now Sevenfold Forge.
I figured it'd be something
like
Falardo Forgery.
It was White Lightning Forge, is it?
Falardo Forgery.
Almost. Come and create your own plan or whatever.
That's right.
But no, it was White Lightning Forge. Back when I had a drinking problem, but, since we've eliminated that, I had to rebrand, obviously, because White Lightning wasn't going to go good with the new look.
So what has been your favorite part about you said seven, or what was the name of your business again? You broke up a little bit, so.
Sevenfold Forge.
Sevenfold Forge. What has been between White Lightning and now that it's Sevenfold Forge? What has been like the highlight of this whole experience for you?
The highlight has been like festivals, going out and meeting people. You know me for a long time. I like to get out and just talk to people and chat away, and the festivals really allow me to do that. Get out and just chit chat with everybody. I actually have a older blacksmith who's here local. He does the festivals with me. Everyone thinks he's like my grandpa, but we're not even related. So the ongoing joke is Hey, I got Grandpa out here helping me bang on the iron. I set it up for him. Now I'm just gonna watch his old ass work.
So what has been your favorite piece that you've done?
If I'm being honest, I want to say Danforth's Dragon Slayer. Just because when I made that thing, it was 6.5 feet long, and that's back when I was in my 10 by 12 shack. Trying to move around and work on it had me up against the wall, no room to work with. And then, now this giant, wonderful facility that I work in, it's kind of where it led to.
And you have pictures of all those knives, like that one that you made for Danforth, correct?
Yeah, I got a nice little storybook of just the work that I've done.
Well, we're gonna show that up on the screen right here, right now, and just for people watching, so they can see what you've done. We'll get together and I'll get those pictures from you. But here are some of the examples of the hard work and dedication that he's put into his blacksmithing. So for everybody to see.
Now my wonderful bread and butter is the spatulas. I don't know if you've seen the recent Facebook posts that I've made, but we've been making, since it's spring, grill sets. We've got bottle openers, steak turners, and spatulas, and we've been cranking them out like crazy.
That's awesome. Well, we'll show them up here on screen too. Make sure that everybody sees it. And that's Sevenfold Forge.
Yep.
Hell yeah. So everybody who's watching this, please, they can find you on what social medias can they find you on?
TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I got almost all of them.
Well, please, so we are big on supporting small businesses. Please, if you're interested in what you've seen, please reach out to Mr. Falardo here and his company, Sevenfold Forge. And but yeah, we're really excited to share that with our community. I think that
I'm definitely gonna have to hit you up for some custom shit.
Oh, he does phenomenal work. It's really cool.
I haven't seen it firsthand, but I'll definitely go check it out after we finish this podcast.
Absolutely. So
if you guys can take a drive down here and bang some stuff out.
Hell yeah.
It's a long drive for some banging, but I'm down.
I knew you would take that the other direction. I just knew it was coming.
I've driven further for less.
That's the other driveway, not this one.
The next one over.
So especially as a small business owner and a veteran, what would your best advice be for somebody that was interested in starting their own business and getting out there and doing their thing, following their passion?
Figure out how to sell what it is you're doing, what it is you love. So obviously mine was blacksmithing, and trying to figure out how to sell that. Most people think blacksmith, I got to sell knives. That's not quite the case. You got a lot of market and areas that you never would have thought of if you really dive into it. Spatulas. Like spatulas and cookware.
Yeah,
I hate
I'd
cookware.
have never thought that. I mean, it only makes sense when you think about it. But I'd have never thought that a blacksmither would have been making spatulas.
No, I think that's really cool.
That comes to mind.
Yeah.
I think it's like swords and knives. Yeah.
No,
cool.
see, I mean,
it's all about thinking outside the box.
Shepherd's
right?
hooks are the big sellers too.
Well, I could see that. I could see that.
I've actually been to, like, when you go to Cover Bridge and stuff, and they have those blacksmiths out there, and they do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
making shepherd's hooks.
I find it so interesting.
Stuff for your yard.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I'd like to sit and watch them.
Now, one thing that we do talk about a lot is so we're geared towards the people that are just starting out, whether that we're talking about fitness or just in life, trying to do the best for themselves. And so one thing that we always ask our guests is if you had some words of wisdom for people that, I mean, from your experience doing the boxing and the combatives from your experience to starting a business, what is your best advice for somebody that's just trying to do better for themselves and just getting started?
Well, the greatest bullet point This one gets a lot of people. It almost got me. It's always hard at first. So no matter what you're starting, what kind of product line it is, what kind of business structure it's going to be, you got to put the time in. You got to be patient with it because not everything pops up automatically. Not everything pops up the first time. Sometimes it takes you 2 or 3 runs, 2 or 3 goes at it. But stick to it. Put the work in. Put the time in, and it will grow. It will get to where you want it.
I like that.
We've been down that road.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're
podcasting.
Yeah, we're still grinded. Like it. We're so on our side. We're so blessed and grateful for the support that we've gotten from this podcast and the response we've gotten from everybody. Like it's overwhelming, especially like when we think about how short of a time it's been, and the growth that we've experienced. It's very humbling and
well, and not just with the podcast, but not as a plug or anything, but the movie that we made,
Yeah.
you know, all things involved productions, like the support that we've got from the community, with whether it be sponsors or friends and family or just people coming out to give moral support. I mean, it's been astronomically vast.
Yeah, and the thing is everybody starts somewhere, and we say such a short time. For me, it's been almost a decade in the making, you know. So like you've known me about since the times that I was starting, because it was 2015 whenever I really like set out on this journey, 2015, 2016, and whenever it came to videography and just building up my skills. But it didn't happen overnight, and it's really easy whenever things don't come together. And I don't know how many times that I've set out to do a project or I've set out to do something and it's failed, and it would have been easy just to stop right there,
Right.
and then none of this would have happened. All the experiences that I've had, from getting to travel the world and all across the country, to having this podcast, to making a movie and doing all that stuff. So to touch on what you've said, you got to start somewhere, and it's not going to be easy at first. It wasn't easy, but if it's worth it, if it's important, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. Like that's the biggest thing. Just driving on and don't give up. Resilience goes a long way.
Anything worth doing takes patience.
Absolutely.
100%.
But no, we've really appreciated having you on, man. Like it's been great. It's been great catching up with you. I've missed drilling with you. We've had a lot of good times over the years, and
from my end, it's been great getting to meet you. Getting to learn all about you.
And also,
yeah, well, I mean, you guys are great. Thanks for having me, first and foremost. But don't stop there. I live down here in Corden. You guys are ever up for like a day or weekend trip, come on down. You can make your own knife out here, whatever.
That'd be a nice little
probably
podcast episode.
Take you possum kicking too.
Oh, definitely.
Down in the hillbilly neck of the woods.
Down in the sticks right before you get to Kentucky.
We're almost in the sticks.
right before you get to the Hills Have Eyes area.
Yeah, we're not quite that far.
Okay.
Before the show,
still got cell service. So good.
Before the show, Carpenter had said that as long as you stay on the Indiana side, you'll be okay. But he took a trip to Kentucky and accidentally his dad. Yeah. So I mean, he got
a trip I ever had. One gate till I got there.
So you got to be careful once you travel into Kentucky. But no,
you are not right.
I ain't left neither, bud. I tell you.
That's true. It's
I got a demented sense of humor. I cuss like a sailor, so there's the best of both worlds.
You
man.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows. He's been in long enough.
Oh yeah.
To know that. But no, again, I also wanted to congratulate you. You're newly promoted to Sergeant First Class, so I'm proud of you, bro.
First Class Falardo.
Yeah, I'll show you. I got my new ID today, and it's an ongoing joke. Oh shit! I left it at the desk.
Oh,
damn it!
I hate those This cat card
It's
IDs.
an ongoing joke to continue to have my military ID photo taken with a Hawaiian shirt, and I did that again today, so it'd be the third time.
Well, congratulations, brother. I'm proud of you.
I remember when I got my photo
Hey,
taken
thanks,
for my
man.
military ID. They were so strict. They were like, if you smiled, they're punching you in the face. And I was like, Roger that.
My last military ID, I had a full beard, and like I showed up, they were like, "We can't take your picture." I was like, "Listen, man, I'm not coming back, and I need this." And finally, they were like, "Okay." And so they took a picture with me and with my beard.
Y'all had a lot more lax than I did.
Oh, they didn't want to. They were like, "We can't." I was like, "Yes, you can."
Just push the button, man. It's all.
I was like, "Yeah, you can pretend."
You're gonna do it.
I was like, pretend like it's not there, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes.
We'll just CGI it out later.
Yeah.
Photoshop it.
But to everybody who's watching this thing, thank you for joining us on the podcast. This has been a blast talking and catching up with Mr. Chris Falardo, or Falardo as we all know.
Sergeant Class Falardo.
Sergeant.
Get it right.
Class Falardo.
Respect that rank. Put some respect on my rank.
But it's been a blast chatting with him, and please check out his check him out on. We'll put all his links in the description underneath, and but check out Sevenfold Forge if you're interested. Please support him. We love to support small businesses. And to all of you that's watching, if you have a fitness journey, or if you are a trainer, if you have some story to share, we would love to share it with our audience. And
or if you're just a veteran who want to come on and shoot with us.
Oh, we love talking to veterans. That's one of our favorite things to do. So if you're a veteran, or if you just have a story that you would like to share that would benefit this community, we would love to have you on. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the podcast, Falardo. We've really enjoyed it, and
been a blast, brother.
Absolutely. And so, any final words before we step off?
In the words of
No,
Jerry
I'm good.
Springer, any final thoughts?
Jerry.
Well, I'm Mitch,
And I'm Dustin.
and this is the Fatman Podcast.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. We love you.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.